British citizen is the only nationality in the world where the US government requires the applicant to be a resident of the British Isle in order to apply for the E-2 visa. This is the law that came about from the early 1800s. They didn't want everybody from the British Empire to qualify for this. So they just want Brits from the British Isle. So it's kind of a, not kind, it's an antiquated requirement and doesn't apply to any other treaty nationality. So in my years of experience from my kind of expat British clients, we definitely have to satisfy the UK residency requirement. And the London US Embassy has stated that they don't have a choice. They have to administer the law. They have to enforce the law. They can't just exempt the law. It's still on the books. However, just from my years of experience, the London US Embassy has interpreted the UK residency requirement quite liberally, at least in my experience. So I've had a number of good experience where I advise my clients to reestablish a UK residency for at least 1 month period immediately before applying for the E-2 visa. And that means like getting a flat in, somewhere in the UK and getting a bank account so you can show some expenditures for day-to-day living expenses, having utility bills for that flat in your name, and at least 1 month of physical residence in the UK with those evidence. You don't have to get a job. Employment obviously is a factor of residency in that locality, but it's not an absolute requirement. I've had plenty of experience where my clients got a place to live. Then they have a variety of documentation such as utility bills, other kinds of bills, and bank accounts showing them living there, paying for groceries and day-to-day living expenses. And then we submit the E-2 visa with the London US Embassy showing those evidence, and we were able to get approval for our UK clients based on that 1 month of physical residency. So at least they're not requiring you to live like months on end or years on end in the UK before you can satisfy that requirement. And they don't seem to be requiring that you have deep roots with like a career and profession and a job for a period of time. They're, at least my experience, they're interpreting that residence requirement relatively liberal. So it's still doable. It's still a pain in the butt to have to go there for at least a month before we apply, but it's a whole lot better than having to live there for half a year or a year and getting a job.
Yeah.